Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video, I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. So let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Am I Wrong and it's by user ThrowArray NoX122. Am I wrong for sending my ex's wife the screenshots he sent me? So me, 35 female, and my ex, 37 male, got divorced 4 years ago when he cheated on me with his now wife, 28 female, while I was pregnant with my daughter. My ex is a douchebag to say the least. He didn't feel an ounce of remorse when he cheated and then married his mistress 3 months after the divorce. I, on the other hand, worked on myself for me and my daughter. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I got my master's and now doing a better job and in a better place. Since almost 2 years ago, my ex has been sending me messages, which were intimate sort of. The first time it was that he is not happy with his wife now. She does not love him like I did. He wants to divorce her and get back together with me. I felt sorry back then, I was stupid, so I thought I could win him back. But the next time we met, he ignored me. I did ask him about the messages and he told me he was drunk and there is no problem. The messages of such kind didn't stop. I asked him again and he got mad and said, "Stop trying to woo me. You know I divorced you because I was not happy with you. I am happy with my wife now." I didn't bring it up again. He would make such messages like once a month. At the time, I thought I would just ignore him because I did not want to create more drama and look like the crazy ex-wife. He would text me complaining about his wife, but then again post pictures with her and go on dates. This was so confusing. There was one time he went on a drive-in movies and he sent me a picture with a caption, "I remember this place. I wish you were here." His wife was still visible in the pictures. The straw that broke the camel's back is when I started dating. I didn't tell him that I was. He must have known from our friends. The last message he sent me was that he wants to be with me. He cannot believe I am not with him anymore, that another man is sleeping on our marital bed. He wants me. If I say the word, he will leave his wife and be with me. I got tired of his crap and I sent the screenshots of his messages to his wife and told her to control him. He must be drunk. I even sent those messages where he criticized her. The next day, he bombarded me with messages that I ruined his marriage. I better fix this and tell his wife that it was all fake. He doesn't need this stress in his life. He called and screamed at me that I was a petty bitch for what I did, that I am jealous of him being happy. I don't know. Should I have just ignored him? Because that didn't work the last time. Well, P, no, I can't say that you were wrong for sending those screenshots, but at the same time, like, this is just a lot of drama that you don't need, I would think so. I mean, you're exposing your crappy ex with the crappy person that he cheated on you with. Now, the petty in me says this is a good thing because, well, you just basically took the pin off a grenade and threw it in their marriage, which, honestly, I think they deserve because, you know, cheaters suck. But it is a double-edged sword because you need to co-parent with this guy. It's not like you have no link to him anymore and you can just block him and forget about him, which would be ideal. But you mentioned that you guys have a daughter together, so you do have a link. Now, if I was in your shoes, I would just tell him that from now on, all communication between you and him has to be about your daughter, and if possible, only through a lawyer. And that you'll resume regular communication once he's gotten a hold of himself and stops acting like an ass. Whatever happens to his marriage is on him. It's not your problem. Wash your hands off of it and move on, OP. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. JessieX26 says, "Not wrong, but your ex is something else. I think that if you would have been with him, he would have dumped you after one night or wanted an affair. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. I do think you should have set stronger boundaries, and no offense, you were a bit naive here. Anyway, back to boundaries. Unless it's about our child, do not text me. I do not want to hear it." And OP responds, "What's his game plan anyway? I mean, he was the one who wanted the divorce. He excitedly moved in with the mistress. He messages me and then says and brags about how much better his life is now. Weird." Finderfolk says, I'm sorry that this completely demented man is in your life. I don't think you did anything wrong. The only thing that complicates the issue is that he is still in your kid's life, I assume. And depending on his state of mind, he might try to manipulate you, as an example. But ultimately, you can't be held hostage by this dude being crappy. You shouldn't have to put up with those messages. What's the custody situation, if you don't mind me asking? I'm just asking in case you think he might do something dangerous after his next divorce, assuming that's how it goes. And Opie responds, right now she is with him from Friday to Sunday. Monday she is with me. There was a whole lot of drama regarding it. When my daughter was born, it was visitations because she was a baby and needed me. My ex wanted more visitations, but his wife didn't want to deal with kids. I know this isn't the end of it, and don't worry, I am always in contact with my lawyer. Apparently there is a thing called parental alienation. He hasn't talked crap about me to my kid, but let's see. And Lilac Filter says, oh girl, it's very obvious you're not in the wrong here. His marriage to his now wife was doomed from the start. There is no lie, he's been sending you messages like this for a while. He decided to type it out and press send. This is all on him. It's so funny that he regrets leaving. It's even funnier that his mistress now knows, maybe just a little bit, of how much of a scumbag he is. I would say block him, but since you share a child with him, that seems impossible. This is all on him. Just tell him he effed up and now he can man up and fix it, and to stop messaging you useless crap. Tell him only to contact you if it is about your daughter. So the community agrees that OP was not in the wrong, but that unfortunately because they share a daughter, they still need to be in contact. So just enforce strict boundaries and that's it. Now OP has given us 2 updates on this, so let's continue with the first one. This is not much of an update, rather a shocking one. Today I got a visit from a rather unexpected guest. She is my ex's wife. It is the first time she came to my house. She said she wanted to talk and it is urgent. Basically, she told me if it's possible for me to lessen the visitation. My daughter is with her father from Friday to Sunday. She wanted that to be just 2 times a month. Reasons? Because she thinks my ex might have some feelings for me and he can't let me go entirely unless there is 0 contact. She knows because of our child it is impossible, so she wants the visitations to be limited. She thinks I am distracting my ex-husband from their marriage. She said, look, you already had a life with him and it failed. Please let me have a life with him. I want us to build a future and family, and having you a part of it is just going to crush that. I was like, okay sis, take him. I don't want him. Just make him stop harassing me or else I will report him. And regarding the custody issues, I told her if she has an issue, she should talk to her husband. I'm not going to be in the middle of it. She should take it up to him if she has a problem with my daughter in her house. She tried to push this topic so that I talked to him, but I didn't budge. Sorry if this wasn't an exciting update. I may update one more time if the custody is changed or not. I mean, is he really going to stop seeing his daughter because his wife doesn't like her? Is he going to really choose his wife over his daughter? Honestly, I love my daughter, but I feel like I'm tied to him for the next 18 years. She married a narcissist. What more misery is there? She knew him and still tied to the knot thinking she won. Yikes, it's like 2 peas in a crazy crappy pod. Anyways, let's move on to the final update. This will be my last update. My ex and I had a chat. He and his wife talked about the visitations. He kept saying that his wife has a problem with my daughter because she thinks having a connection to his past, like also known as me and my daughter, is not good for their marriage. After some negotiation, he presented 2 choices, one of which I threw out the window of how ridiculous it is. 1. He takes full custody of our child and I only see her once a month. It would be better if I just gave up my maternal rights. I swear if hitting people wasn't illegal, I would have, but I laughed in his face and said that's never going to happen. If he tries anything, I'll drag him to court. Or 2. He gives up his rights as a father. I simply asked him, will he ever be able to live with himself if he does that? Does he think our daughter will not know in the future? Overall, it was just him rambling. It is just too difficult for him to choose. I cannot believe that choosing your own daughter is so difficult for him. He said he loves our daughter, but he has a life outside of being just a father. Fair. But he also loves his wife and cannot upset her. I told him to think about it and give me an answer. Does he prioritize a vagina over his own daughter? I called him a delusional coward because he cannot even put his foot down and fight for his daughter. All he had to do is say no if he loves his daughter. Instead, he wants me to put my foot down and take the load of this crap. I told him, unless he decides what he wants to do, I will keep sticking to my plan unless I hear anything wrong that is being done to my daughter. That insufferable man was accusing me of breaking up his marriage because if I hadn't sent those screenshots, then his wife wouldn't have demanded this thing from him. I told him he shouldn't have sent me those messages and harassed me. He is lucky I didn't report him. So, a lot of back and forth, and he finally decided he wants to see our daughter every other weekend. I mean, it's his decision. I know he is not happy, but he wants to make his second marriage work so desperately that he is willing to cut short time with his own daughter. I guess he finally put his foot down for once. As for me, I am happy the way things are. I have a wonderful daughter, a house, a new man, possibly stepkids if we ever tie the knot. My ex's problems are not my problem. I will not push him to be a good father. That's something he has to do on his own. Adios. Well, OP, you called it. He's definitely a coward. But you are happy with the way things are, so of course that is a complete positive. Now, another positive or silver lining is that your daughter doesn't have to spend too much time with a couple of idiots like them. So on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I Wrong? And it's by user FoxofDeath93. Am I wrong for not wanting my cousin as a bridesmaid? Hi everyone, first time ever doing a post here. I'm getting married in November next year, yay! And I started discussing plans with my mom and sister. My mom has warned me that my aunt, mom's sister, will be expecting me to make my cousin, female 13, a bridesmaid. I do not want that. I'll keep it brief, but essentially, she's the most spoiled, annoying, entitled person I've ever known, and I cannot stand her. My aunt sees her as an angel. As a parent, I would expect that. And is very family-oriented, believes family should be involved with everything. Now, I should mention my aunt is a really kind and caring woman, and I love her, but I cannot tolerate her kid. There's no question about it, I'm not making her a bridesmaid. I've already picked them out. My mom said my aunt will be heartbroken. She is a very sensitive person, but she backs my decision. I'm sure I'm a horrible person for not allowing this, but would I be in the wrong? Also, I want advice from anyone who reads this. How do I go about telling my aunt this decision with as minimal damage possible? I don't want to be the person causing a rift in the family because I upset someone. Thanks in advance. Well, P, no, I don't think you're absolutely anywhere near being wrong. It is your and your fiance's wedding, and you get to choose who your bridesmaids are. And guilting you or trying to impose you something because family, that's not an argument. Now, this is just me assuming here, but I'm assuming that your wedding party, the bridesmaids, are going to have activities with you that are not suitable for a 13-year-old girl. And even if they don't and you guys just sit around playing cards all night for your bachelorette party, that's something you can tell your aunt. Now, if your aunt won't have it and continuously tries to push you to have her daughter as a bridesmaid, then you just need to set the boundary and say, look, I love you, we're family, but your daughter is not my friend, and all my bridesmaids are my friends or people I have shared things in life with. She's invited as a guest, not to be a part of the wedding party. And if your aunt gets upset or is too sensitive to hear that, well, I'm sorry, but that is her problem. And what do you guys think OP should do? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments. Few Relation 8707 says, not wrong at all. I'd recommend politely making the announcement that you have the policy that bridesmaids are over age 18 or 21 or whatever legal age is where you are so they can legally participate in the bridesmaids festivities. It's completely reasonable to want your entourage to be of age. At 13, she's still a child and far too young to participate in an adult event. Congratulations, wishing you the best. And OP responds, that's a good idea. Hard for my aunt to argue with that, though I have a feeling she'll try. Thanks. Your favorite BM says, nah, you're definitely not wrong. You can tell your aunt that you've been dreaming of this day since a child and have had your bridesmaids picked out since school. It's your day, and if you add your cousin, the ratio of groomsmen will be off. And although she's your cousin, y'all aren't as close as your aunt would like, and y'all can work on that at a later date, but your wedding isn't the place to start. Shrug. There's really no easy way to break her heart, but it's your decision. If you say no, that means no. And Senior Sentence 6230 says, minimal damage? Let's be clear, your cousin is walking all over your aunt and really needs a reality check. Bite the bullet. This has been going on for too long. A slap of reality is called for here. Let her know that her entitled sprog is a brat and her best role is sweeping away the confetti after the event, or just find her a job as an usher or something, anywhere other than where it really matters. And OP responds, your response really had me chuckling, and it's so incredibly true. My cousin rules her family. OP's edit. Thank you for all the comments. I've read all your suggestions, and I think I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm not going to make an announcement about it. It does seem a bit harsh, and wait to be asked. Then I'll go with the all bridesmaids need to be over 18 years old. My bridesmaids are my sister and my sister-in-law. They're both over 18. If my aunt says it's unfair, I will bring up the fact that she wouldn't be able to participate in most things. It's hard to argue when time is the enemy, right? Okay, well, the community of course agrees that OP is not wrong in this situation, and I guess we were all thinking the same thing. A 13-year-old girl wouldn't be able to participate in all of the festivities that surround a bride regarding her wedding. So now, let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. My aunt has now been finally told of the outcome, and I wasn't there for the damage. I was sitting at home when I got a text from my mom saying my aunt has now finally asked about if her daughter, now 14 female, can be a bridesmaid. My mom was going to tell her that I hadn't decided on bridesmaids yet when she felt enough was enough and told her she wasn't and gave her the reasons for it. Now, we couldn't tell my aunt the real reason I don't want my cousin as a bridesmaid, as that would not go down well. But there were other concerns, e.g. she is terrified of rain, seriously, and won't go anywhere if there's clouds and or raining, and with it being a November wedding, that's something to consider. I think Guns N' Roses has a song and video on this topic. She doesn't like being around people she doesn't know, which would be half the guest list, and it'll be loud, so she may freak out and have a meltdown. At least if she's a guest, it's less pressure for her and my aunt can take her out if needed. Apparently, my aunt went silent and then walked outside. My mom followed to see how she was, and of course she was very upset, but she said she understood. I'm now very incredibly guilty that my mom had to take the blow for that instead of me. I was even preparing myself for that conversation, but it was out of my hands. My mom said it's fine, as it had to be told eventually. My mom recommended next week, when we go see them, that I go along with some flowers and apologize for upsetting her. I agree with going with her, not so much about apologizing, as I really didn't do anything wrong. But I can try to help any damage done. There may be another update depending on how next week goes. Thanks for reading if you get to this point. OP's edit. Thank you for all the comments. I got a lot more attention than I expected. Reading all your comments and speaking to my fiance, you've all given me the clarity of the sheer stupidity of my issue. I've decided I won't be bringing flowers and I won't be apologizing. I will go over next weekend, but I'll explain my reasons in person, and this way I can settle it hopefully once and for all. Final update. Hi everyone again. First of all, thank you to everyone who helped me with their comments with my last 2 previous posts. This is a very minor update, but I finally got the courage to speak to my aunt today and able to place a boundary. I didn't do the flowers thing. It went a lot better than expected, and my aunt said she completely understood and it's my wedding, so it's my decision. I think the shock of it more than anything was what upset her. My cousin isn't even aware of what my aunt was hoping for, so we don't have to worry about a fallout with that. We're still on good terms. I even said I would completely understand if she hated me, but she just laughed, saying that would never happen. That should be the end of that saga, and I can continue to plan the wedding and getting all excited for it. Thank you again, everyone. Well, OP, great news. You were able to set a boundary, nobody got upset with you, and you can focus on your wedding. So here's wishing you the best on your wedding, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.